What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying life today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 Hyundai Kona N-Line. Huge thank you to Bethard over at Safford Hyundai of Leesburg, Virginia for allowing me to do this video for you guys today. If you are interested in this particular Kona or any Hyundai product, then I'll be sure to have Ben's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. It's a beautiful first official day of summer outside here today, but first things first, I wanted to apologize about the ambient noise, like the planes flying over and like the wind noise. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do about either one of those things. But just like usual, first, I'm going to talk about the exterior and the performance. So like I said, this is a 2024 Hyundai Kona N-Line, and this particular one's been painted in the $470 Atlas White. I wanted to preface this video by saying for 2024, Hyundai redesigned the Kona inside and out with sharper exterior looks, updated interior technology, and more cabin space for cargo and passengers. But this being the N-Line, as standard, you get LED projector headlights with high beam assist, as well as LED daytime running lights and standard turn signals. Now I'm going to take a step to the left and give you a front-on shot of the newly redesigned Kona N-Line, and you may be able to tell you have your silver Hyundai logo located at the center of your hood. And if you come down here towards your grille area, this being the N-Line, you get the sport front fascia, essentially giving you the sporty appearance up here at the front end is basically what I mean by that. And then you get the active grille shutters up top here that open and close depending on if you turn on the vehicle, they open, and when you turn the vehicle off, they close right back up. This being the N-Line, you get the gloss black front grille with the N-Line logo on the passenger side of the grille. You also get a satin black grille surround, and this is what I'm referring to right here as the satin black grille surround. You also get some body color outer bumper trim that kind of flares in to your front grille. You can see this here and here. That is what I'm referring to. And then beneath that, you get the satin black front lip with the gray accenting. So this entire piece is satin black. Then you get the gray accenting on the outsides of the lip. And this one having all-wheel drive, you get 8.3 inches of ground clearance. If this had front-wheel drive, you would get 6.9 inches of ground clearance. Now, this one being the N-Line, you get the body color wheel arch moldings, whereas this on any of the other trims would be satin black, but this being the N-Line, it is body color. And then speaking of the N-Line, you get the N-Line specific 19-inch gray with machine accent wheels, and the wheels are wrapped in 235/45 Kumo Majesty 9 Solus TA91 all-season tires. I'm going to give you a view of the tread pattern on these tires here real quick. That is what they look like. Then on both of your fenders, you get the N-Line badging. And then this one being the sporty trim level, you get the gloss black mirror caps with integrated turn signals. And as standard, these side view mirrors are heated, manual folding, and you will find your blind spot monitoring on the outer left-hand side of your driver's side mirror and on the outer right-hand side of your passenger side mirror. Now I'm going to take a step back and give you a side profile shot of this thing. I love all the different body lines here with the Kona. It looks super aggressive, especially with these wheels, with that roof spoiler, which I'll get into here in a second. But up at the top of your roof line, you get these satin black roof rails. You also get the satin black window trim. You get body color door handles with keyless access. Just keep in mind, however, the keyless access function is only on your front two door handles. The rear two door handles do not get the keyless access function. And then all the way at the bottom of all of your passenger doors, you get a mix of satin black and gray for your side skirts. So you can see this part of the side skirt is gray, the rest of it is satin black. And then coming on down the driver's side, you have your fuel door. If you wanted to open up your fuel door, you have to access it under the driver's seat. You pull up on this thing right here and your fuel door will open up. You do not get a capless filler neck. However, 87 octane will do you just fine. Up top here, as mentioned, you get a ton of gloss black accenting here with the N-Line. So you get the gloss black shark fin antenna. You also get the gloss black super aggressive roof spoiler. I mean, look at this thing. It is absolutely sick. Third brake light, rear window defroster, and your rear wiper. You also get LED combination taillights as standard, and here is a rear 3/4 shot of this thing. I'm going to take a step to the right, give you a little booty shot, and you may be able to see you get more silver badging back here with the Kona badging, the Hyundai badging. You get the H-Track and the 1.6T badging. Now, following the center line of the vehicle down, that is where you will find your backup camera, and offset to the right of the backup camera, you have a pad, and if you press on that pad and pull up, that is how you access your trunk. It is a manual liftgate. It is not a power liftgate. You can see up top here, you have your privacy cover. I'm going to put the price of all the different accessories on screen right now. But I would say from the trunk opening to the seat back, you probably get a good 3 feet. But if you needed a little bit more storage space, you can fold down your second row seats, as you may be able to tell. And you probably get an additional about 4 feet of storage space with the second row seats down. Here comes another plane. And then underneath all of this stuff is where you will find your spare tire, your jack, your tow hook, etc. You also get a little storage cubby on the driver's side of the trunk. You do not get one on the passenger side of the trunk. You also get a grocery bag hook and an LED light on the driver's side of the trunk. You get a grocery bag hook there and there as well. Closing that trunk back up, let's finish things off here at the rear end, shall we? So you get a satin black rear valance with some gray accent color trim. You also get a dual exhaust system that exits on the passenger side of the vehicle, and this one being optioned with all-wheel drive. You get the independent multi-link rear suspension. And that's kind of about it for the exterior of the Kona N-Line. This thing looks super aggressive, and when I pulled this thing out of the dealership, I was like, this thing feels super quick, especially when you get it up to about like 2,200 RPM. That's kind of about where it really starts to pull. And when we go over these horsepower and torque figures, you can be like, does it really feel that fast? You really got to experience it out on the road, because the horsepower and torque figures on paper don't really do it justice. But I guess we might as well talk about that right now. So now let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals the 1.6 liter turbo 4-cylinder that produces 190 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 7.5 seconds. And if you were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 24 miles per gallon in the city, 29 miles per gallon on the highway, for 26 miles per gallon combined with all-wheel drive. The N-Line does come standard with front-wheel drive, so if you wanted all-wheel drive, that is going to cost you an additional $1,500. But if you're enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot reach my goal without your support. So if you're enjoying the video, if you've learned anything thus far, please just take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into the interior. Moving on into the interior, as mentioned earlier, you get keyless access as standard, so all you have to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, put your hand behind the door handle, and it will unlock. You can also lock it if you run your finger across this hexagon looking thing here, and now it is locked. This is what the key fob looks like. It's silver, and going over the functions on it, you have your lock function, your unlock function, your remote start function, and your panic function. So if you wanted to remote start this, all you have to do is lock it first, press and hold on this button, and she'll fire right up. And that is what it sounds like being fired up from the exterior's perspective. Now, this one being the N-Line, you get the black Alcantara with the red accent upholstery. I'll get more into that here in a second. We are going to start on our driver door panel. So first things first, you get a gray door handle, your power side view mirror controls, your unlock and your lock functions, automatic up and down front windows. You do not get automatic up or down windows in the back. This button is going to restrict your passenger window privileges. You get a decently padded armrest, a little bit of storage space, a spot you could set a water bottle, and the N-Line comes standard with an 8-speaker Bose sound system. Now, as standard with this thing, you get an 8-way power driver seat with 2-way power lumbar. You also get a manually adjustable front passenger seat. Heated front seats are standard, and the N-Line gets these sport buckets as standard, and they are exclusive to the N-Line. I love the red accenting that you get down the center of the seat. You get this Alcantara thing right here. Now let's step on into the interior. You also get a little checkered flag door sill right there. I think that is a cool touch. Take a listen to what it sounds like when you close the door. And unlike other manufacturers, when you step into a Hyundai after remote starting it, you just step into it and you get full access here to the infotainment in the dash and stuff like that, whereas other manufacturers, you still have to, start it how you would normally start it. But now basically what I'm going to do is walk you throughout the entire interior. Starting up top here, you get a defroster for both front windows. You get the same thing on that side as well. Then you get an HVAC vent with the red accenting. This is to brighten and or dim your gauge cluster as well as your backlit buttons. That is to turn your traction control system on or off. This is to turn the hill descent control on or off. If you pull out on that, that is going to engage your parking brake. If you want to disengage the parking brake, push your foot against the brake, push against that, and the parking brake will disengage. Now, this one being the N line, you get the aluminum sport pedals. They look absolutely fantastic. But at the bottom of your steering column, or I guess on the side of the steering column, if you push that down, that gives you access into your manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. So you can push the steering wheel away from you. You can bring the steering wheel towards you, and it also moves up and down. And then once you find your comfortable position, all you got to do is lock it right back into position. Now, let's take a listen to the turn signal. That is what the turn signal sounds like here on the Kona. And not only is this your turn signal control stock, it is also your headlight control stock and your high beam control stock. So first things first, right here, you have your headlight control. So all the way up is headlights in the always on position. That is your parking lights on. That is headlights automatic, and all the way down is headlights off. Now, zooming back out, you get a leather wrapped steering wheel with some red accent colored stitching. You also get the N badge right there and steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. And just like any other vehicle, you have your horn at the center. Let's take a listen. That is what your horn sounds like here on the Kona. Now, going over the controls on the steering wheel, as standard with this thing, you get smart cruise control. So here are your smart cruise control / lane keep assist settings. So this thing comes standard with the lane keep assist and the lane following assistant. So here are your different driver assistance features. And then you have this control right here and that scroll knob, both of which are to control your 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. I'll get more into that here in a second. But coming to the right hand side of the steering wheel, you have the mode and the star button. Both of these buttons are configurable. So let's go into the mode button first. If you click on that, it's going to pop up this here on your infotainment system. So you can see all of these different things you can select. So you can, with the mode button, select all of these. You can select 3 of them. You can select 2. You can select however many or however little of these you want with the mode button. And anytime you go throughout the mode button, it's going to bring you into your phone projection sounds of nature. If you select all of them, it's just going to go throughout all of them, then restart and then go throughout all of them again. So that is what the mode button does. The start button is a similar premise. However, with the start button, you can only select one of these things. So you can have it be your driver assistance stuff. It's going to pop up your driver assistance settings on the infotainment system. You can turn the media on or off. You can go into your map. You can go throughout any of these different controls here, but you can only select one of them. I'm going to let the owner of this, when they buy it, select it. Now on the right hand side, you have these controls here. So if you push up on that, that is going to bring you backwards on a track. If you push down on that, that is going to bring you forwards on a track. Then you have your volume control right here. If you push on that, that is going to mute the audio system. And then if you press the phone button, it's going to pop up your phone screen on the infotainment system. Right now, I have Apple CarPlay connected, and as you may be able to tell, you have full screen Apple CarPlay. But if I didn't have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto connected, it would bring me into the Hyundai phone screen. And then that button right there is to speak to the vehicle. You can tell it to turn the AC system to 61 degrees or fan speed 3, whatever you want to do. And then you have your windshield wiper control stock, your transmission selector here. So if you wanted to go into drive, push your foot on the brake, push forward like that. That is drive. If you wanted to go into reverse, you pull backwards. And if you wanted to go into park, you push that P right there. This is what the rear view camera looks like. Push P to go into park. Now let's move into our gauge cluster, right? So this is a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. And right now on the right-hand side, you have your tachometer and your coolant temperature gauge. On the left-hand side, you have your speedometer, your fuel gauge, and your fuel range. Now at the center, you have your you have your speed limit sign. You have your driver assistance features for your lane keep system. Then you have your tire pressure stuff at the center at the moment. You have to be driving in order to display that. Then you have your transmission status stuff and the ambient exterior temperature. Now, if you wanted to navigate throughout that screen, again, you have this page button and this scroll knob right here. So at the top, you have your current trip information. Scroll down one, you get your since refueling, since last reset, and then you get your tire pressure stuff like we were just on, and then this is your torque split. So if you had all or front wheel drive, I don't think you would have the full, or I don't even know if you would have this screen, but I know you would only have basically this front area here. But I don't think you get this screen with front wheel drive. Basically, it shows you where, which wheels are powering the vehicle forward at the current time. So if you floor it, most likely all of these boxes will be filled in. If you're cruising down the highway, it's probably going to be using the front wheels more than the rear. I'm not 100% sure on that, but basically it'll just fill in the wheels that are powering the vehicle forward at that time. If you click on this button right here, it's going to bring you into your compass. You click that one more, it's going to bring you into your driver assistance features. So if you press and hold on that, it's going to pop up your driver assistance features on the infotainment system. You can go throughout those on that screen if you would like. But really, that's kind of about it for that screen. I don't know if I pointed this out, but right there, that is your odometer. Now moving into this screen, this is another 12.3 inch screen, but this is your 12.3 inch infotainment system with built-in navigation and wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity. So this is what your home screen looks like. You got your navigation stuff, your media stuff, your phone stuff. This is your quick control screen. You can turn the display off. You can adjust the brightness of the display. You can adjust the beeps for the navigation system, the navigation guidance sounds. Then you can put it into quiet mode right here. Basically what quiet mode is going to do is going to lower all the interior volume in the front, and it's going to turn the rear speakers off. And then if you click that, we're back into the home screen. You can go up top here. This is like your driver profile stuff. Then you got your time. You see the battery right there with the lightning bolt. That is in there or on that screen because my phone is charging in the wireless charging pad. Then you get your date at the center. If you swipe, this is your secondary screen. Hyundai Pay is basically you can prepay for a busy parking garage, busy town center parking. That is what Hyundai Pay is for. Then you can pop up your weather, all these other things you can read on screen. You can go to all these things. I'm not going to go throughout all of that, but I do want to show you the setup screen. So let's say we wanted to find our driver assistance features, right? Rather than having to go into vehicle and driver assistance features, there's an easier way to do it. So when in doubt, click the magnifying glass and type in whatever you need to type in, but I'm just going to do driver assistance just for, examples. So if you click on this, you can see your driver assistance stuff. You can go into the driver assistance settings. It's going to pop up all the different driver assistance stuff that you can, pop up on the screen. So look for the magnifying glass in the setup screen if it is something that you are looking for. Then you get the 2 HVAC vents, the red accenting, push button, start button, volume control knob, tuning control knob, all of these different shortcut buttons. I do like how this has a home shortcut button. A lot of the other Hyundais do not get the home shortcut button. I like to see that on this. And then you can see all these different things here. You can go into the search, which is going to pop up the magnifying glass screen. You have your hazard button. That's to go backwards on a track, forwards on a track. That's going to bring you into your setup screen. And this is another configurable button. Same premise as this button right here. It's going to bring you into a different menu of options to choose from for this button, though. So you can see all of these different things that you can pop up. Again, you can only select one feature here with both of these star functions. So beneath that, as standard with this thing, you get a dual zone climate control system. So this is what the climate control system looks like. You get the temperature control, fan speed control. That is the direction of the airflow. You can read everything else. Beneath that, you get a USB-C port, a 12-volt power outlet by clicking on that. And as mentioned, as standard, you get a wireless charging pad located right here. This is an iPhone 14 Pro Max, one of the bigger phones on the market. It fits in the wireless charging pad. And when the phone is charging, that is going to illuminate. And you're also going to get a battery up top here with that lightning bolt and those like Wi-Fi looking circle things or semicircles, letting you know that the phone is in the wireless charging pad and it is charging. As mentioned, you get heated front seats as standard. You get 3 levels of adjustability. That's going to pop up your backup camera. This is your auto hold function. So if you press on this, basically if you're stuck in traffic, tired of holding your foot down on your brake yourself, you press that button, the vehicle will hold you in place by itself with its braking system. And if you needed to move forward again, all you got to do is hit the accelerator and the vehicle will begin to move forward again. So one thing that's pretty cool about Hyundai products, right, is that you get a ton of storage space down in here. You can set all of your random items if you wanted to, but hey, let's say we go over to Burger King and we get a Whopper, or we go to Chick-fil-A and we get the Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Deluxe. Well, you get a lemonade with that. If you need just 1 cup holder, you click right here. Boom, I only get 1 cup holder. Now, if you have somebody else that's riding with you and they also got a lemonade or a Coke or whatever, you can click that and boom, now you got 2 cup holders. So it's pretty cool. It can either be usable storage space or you can have your 2 cup holders there. And then behind that, you get a little bit more storage space here. You get a nicely padded armrest. And if you open this thing up, you get a little divider up top here. But either way, you're gonna have that access down into that console, whether or not the armrest is open. So you can see I could still reach down in there. And moving over here to the passenger side, you get an upper like open glove box, so you can set your phone up top there. They can set their keys over there, maybe some sunglasses, stuff like that. And then beneath that, you do not get a lockable glove box, but you get quite a bit of storage space in the glove box. You can fit your napkins, you can fit your straws, you can fit the essentials like that, maybe some snacks. Now, closing that back up, here's a view of what the passenger side seat looks like. Up top here, you have your rear view mirror. I don't know 100% if this is an auto dimming rear view mirror. I'll put it on screen if it is an auto dimming rear view mirror, or if it is not even, I'll let you know. Driver gets an LED reading light, passenger gets an LED reading light. This is your instant dome light on button. It's gonna turn on all the interior dome lights. When it is flush like this, when you open up the doors, the interior lights will turn on. But if you click right here, now when you open up the doors, the interior lights will not turn on. Then you get your Blue Link stuff, your SOS stuff, kind of like roadside assistance features. That's going to let you know if the passenger airbag is on or off. If you pull back on this thing once, it is going to retract the sunshade. And then it is also going to open up the sunroof itself. Now, I don't know if this is a tilting and sliding sunroof. I do know that it does slide. I would assume that it also does tilt, so we're going to test the tilt function. So if I press this, let's see, will it tilt? Yes, it does have the tilt function, which is definitely very nice. And then taking a look here, you get a vanity mirror with a vanity light that you turn on yourself. You also get a little clip right here, and let's say you forget to turn that off, but you close your visor, right? It is going to turn the light off itself. So that is definitely nice. And then let's see, do these slide forwards and backwards? They should. Yes, they slide forwards and backwards dependent on where the sun is shining. And then driver gets a no poop handle, as does the front passenger. And really, that's kind of about it for what we got going on here in these front seats. I guess one option that I did miss is that this one's been spec'd with the $210 carpeted floor mats that say Kona N-Line. And that's kind of about it for what we got going on here in the front. So now I'm going to throw the entire window sticker on screen. I suggest you take a look at the safety features and the comfort and convenience features, but you take a look at whatever you want to. I'm just going to highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2024 Kona N-Line all-wheel drive is spec'd is $34,879. I think this thing looks sick. It's got all the features that I would want on a vehicle, really. It's comfortable. And it drives very good, and it's honestly surprisingly peppy once you get behind the wheel. But, you know, I do want to show you what we got going on in the rear seats before moving into the driving portion of the video. So, let's see what we got going on back here. So this is what the rear door panel looks like. Again, you don't get automatic up or down windows back here, but the windows themselves go all the way down. Now, taking a look at the armrest, you get a decent amount of padding, really not all that much, but it will get the job done. It's better than nothing. You get a spot you can set a water bottle and another speaker. This is what the second row seats look like. As mentioned when we were taking a look at the trunk, you do get the the second row folding seats, as you can see right there, but you also do get the Alcantara. Now stepping on into these rear seats, you get an OPU panel, you get a spot you could set your dry cleaning, you get an LED dome light, you get the OPU panel on that side, but you don't get a spot you could set your dry cleaning. Now, you do not get a seat back pocket behind the driver's seat, but you do get one behind the passenger seat. You also get 2 HVAC vents, 2 USB-C ports, a spot you could set your phone down there while it is charging, and then opening this up, you get 2 cup holders, a nicely padded armrest, and we are going to see, can we recline these seats? So if I pull up on this, yes, they do recline. So these second row seats do recline, and they're also nice and comfortable here in the second row. Now, speaking of knee and leg room, I'm 5'9", adjusted behind myself. I've actually got quite a bit of knee and leg room, more than I was expecting. Here's another view of that. And when it comes to headroom, I've got plenty of headroom as well. But really, that's kind of about it for what we got going on. I will say, though, that these rear seats are definitely firmer than the seats in the front. But yeah, that's kind of about it for the interior. So, you know, we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior. So, I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So, I'll see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, now on to the driving portion of the video. I wanted to start the video here to go over these speed bumps, just to tell you that this thing, when going over certain bumps, it definitely has a pretty stiff suspension, especially going over those speed bumps. I went over those speed bumps I just did a video with an Elantra, and, you know, it did better over those speed bumps. Granted, those speed bumps are definitely, you know, some of the most aggressive speed bumps that, you know, I've been over. But this thing, you can definitely feel it has a, you know, the suspension rides on the firmer side of things, let's just say that. But you know, with it being an N-line, what do you expect, right? Isn't that what it's supposed to be? It's supposed to have that fun, nimble suspension so you can go around turns rather quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into sport mode here real quick. Actually, I'm going to leave it in normal mode. I'll put it in sport mode here later. But just watch the speedometer. I'm not going to give it too much gas, but watch about 2,000 RPM, 2,200. Watch. And that was literally like no throttle. So like I was saying, don't pay attention to the paper figures. I know 190 horsepower, 195 pound-feet of torque really doesn't seem like all that much in today's day and age. But if you just drive this thing, you'd be like, this feels like it's making more than 190 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. I mean, you barely get on the accelerator and it's going. Like, watch. Right here. That's when it starts to really pull at like 2,300 RPM, I think is where it is. Like you'll feel it, it's like, and then it starts to pull hard. It's like, wow. You know, from stoplight to stoplight traffic, this thing's a blast to drive because you don't get on it that much, but you can feel it really start to pull. So like I said, don't pay attention to the paper figures because this thing feels much quicker than what the paper figures suggest. And if you own one of these cars, please let me know if you also feel the same way about the power, or is it just me? Because it really feels more powerful than what it says on the paper figures online. So I don't know, it strikes me as being more powerful than it actually is. So it's just a very fun vehicle. It looks sweet on the exterior and it's got great power. And it also has got that handling suspension. You do this, I mean, there's just very minimal body roll. Is there a little bit? Yes. One thing though is that I wish the brake bite was better. You really kind of got to push your foot into the brake in order to get it to like slow down. You know, whereas some other vehicles, you just barely tap on the brakes and it starts to slow. Whereas this one, you kind of gotta push into it in order to get that brake bite. When we turn right here, I'm going to do a nice little acceleration, more than I would normally do, but you can kind of just, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Watch the RPMs and watch the speed and watch when it gets to like 2,300 RPM, how it really starts to pull, because it's pretty impressive. Now, I guess while we're sitting at the stoplight, I might as well talk about the Bose sound system because it sounds great. I was messing with the adjustments here and I messed with the treble, the mid, and the bass, and it sounds real good, like better than you would expect it to. So I'm gonna let this person go because they're driving like a grandma, and we're gonna do a nice little acceleration up here. So here you go. See the RPMs? It really begins to pull. I mean, it's actually when I went over that bump right there, like the bridge joints, I don't know if you saw, but it really soaked up that bump very nicely. So now I'm gonna let that person gain a little bit of a distance. I'm gonna put this thing into sport mode and I'm gonna do a nice little acceleration out here onto the highway, and we're gonna see how she does. So I'm gonna put up Waze, obviously, because we're in Mexico, right? So we'll do a nice little acceleration out onto the roadway here. I'm gonna get back out of this, and basically right now I'm going to floor it. So it's got great highway on-ramp acceleration. Now take a listen to what it sounds like cruising at like 70-ish. It sounds well insulated from the outside world. I was actually expecting a little bit more road noise or wind noise, excuse me. This guy's hauling rear end. I was expecting some more wind noise because of that big rear spoiler. Sometimes that's what you get when you get you have aero like that. But no, not too bad. Sounds great. This thing's got smart cruise control, so I could literally right now see it's steering. I'm not steering. That's like the curve control system. Pretty cool. No hands on the wheel, and if you had the smart cruise control, it would basically steer you. So I think that's pretty cool. Definitely like all the safety features that you get with a Hyundai as standard. So this thing's definitely quick. It cruises great at highway speeds. It looks awesome. It's comfortable from the driver's perspective. It's definitely got firmer seats there in the rear, but you know, how often are you really going to be sitting in the rear of your own car anyway, right? You got kids, your kids are going to be okay in those rear seats, or your passengers, if you're picking up your friends, they'll be okay in those rear seats as well. So just a very, very fun driving experience with this thing. It is fun, it's quick, and it definitely has really, really cool looks as well. Sound system is great. All the tech is great with this thing. Not too many complaints. And then, yeah, testing the suspension right there, man. Really, really flat going around that turn. My only complaint really is the way that the brake feel is. I don't know. The brake feel is just a little bit off. I wish it had a little bit more bite to it. It's not a deal breaker, but it definitely is not like my favorite brake feel. But, you know, with the power, with the handling, with the looks, everything else kind of makes up for that brake feel. So my one complaint is the way that the brakes feel. If you own one of these, or if you've test driven one, let me know what your opinion is on the brake feel in the comment section down below. We'll just do a nice little acceleration here going into town so you can see what that is like. This thing is a blast to drive. I'm telling you, it feels like it's got more power than it actually does. So just to summarize this thing, it looks sick, it drives great, it's super fun to drive, and it feels more powerful than it is, and the sound system is also great. But that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot reach my goal without your support. So if you enjoyed the video, if you learned anything from the video, please take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. But again, that is it for today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.